I'm Jessica with Electra, and today we're doing this subtle summer glam look. And we're going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Stoned Rose palette. And we're going to start with the bronzer because that shade just does not work for my skin, but it is an awesome eyeshadow. So we're going to apply that from the lash line all the way up to the brow bone, swirling it in with a nice fluffy brush. And you want to keep this brush handy because we're going to use it to go back in and blend in a second. And grabbing a slightly smaller brush, you're going to go into the deepest eyeshadow color and put that just in the socket of the eye and slightly wing it out and up towards the end of your eyebrow. So I'm going to be doing a winged liner with this look, and I find that on my eye shape, because I'm not great at winged eyeliner, I find that on my eye shape, if I can add some structure first with the eyeshadow, it just helps everything flow a lot better. So you'll see we're kind of going into the socket, swinging everything up and out, and then connecting that outer edge wing situation to the outer corner of that upper lid. And it's really pretty, but we got to go blend it out. So I'm taking that larger fluffy brush we used for the first color with the bronzer and blending everything together. Now we're going to take the middle kind of metallic rust shade and putting that on the outer 2/3 of the lid. We're going to do this to create depth, and I just really like to use a couple colors on the lid because then we're going to go in with the lightest eyeshadow shade and put that on the inner 1/3 of the lid and in the inner corner. I'm also going to use that to touch up under the brow and just sort of lightly blend out that top line. Now, you don't have to do this, but why not? Let's add some glitter. So I'm going to do the darker shade first, and just where I put the darker eyeshadow on the outer 2/3, that's where the darker glitter is going. The lighter glitter is going over the lighter eyeshadow color. I love to do this because I think it adds some really pretty subtle depth, and these are the little tricks that if you do it, they get a ton of impact. So going in with my extremely stubby eyeliner, and this is how I've learned to do wings for my eye shape. Everyone's different, but I like to first line the eye and then go back in on that outer edge and make it a little thicker. And then the top part of that thicker portion, I wing that out from the top line. And then I go to the other eye and map it out to kind of match the first eye. Then go back and repeat the process on the second eye. That's the key, making that tail match on the second eye, match the first eye. This takes a ton of practice. I still don't nail it every time, and it helps if you have a sharper eyeliner than I do here, but it's fine because we have a trick we're going to do next. So just going back and forth, making sure everything's even and kind of at the angle you want. Then go back in with a thin little brush and some eyeshadow that matches your eyeliner. And you're just going to cover everything, but when you get out to that tip, you're going to go in like short little wispy strokes and kind of have that end fade off into nothing. It's a really beautiful smoky effect, and I think it really gives you a nice wing that's not too harsh but still has a ton of impact. And I didn't edit this out for time or anything. It is obviously sped up, but I just want you guys to see how long this process is. Wing liner, I don't know. I mean, I think there are a few makeup artists who can just whack it out, but I cannot do it. Another tip too is I'm going to take what's left on the eyeshadow brush and just kind of go underneath the lashes for some definition, and then back into that deeper eyeshadow color to kind of blend that out. And I'm taking that all the way under the bottom lash line. I love to use eyeshadow instead of eyeliner under my bottom lashes just so it doesn't run as much. Next, popping on some lashes, and we're going to start in on the face. So taking off my sweet eye masks, and I'm going to prep the under eye with a corrector to kind of even out the skin tone and cancel out the darkness. And of course, I like to prep my lips with a corrector too. Now we're going to go in with some primer. I am using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. It's amazing. This is the one makeup product from her line that I cannot live without. There are no substitutes. So rubbing that all over the face and then going in with my favorite Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. I love these two products together. I think they complement each other beautifully in formula and coverage. And I like applying the foundation with my hands because I can really control the amount of coverage and use the warmth of my hand to press the product into my skin. I'm going to use a little of the RMCA No Color powder. It's just a great translucent powder and a fluffy brush to set everything. The key to this is pressing the powder into the makeup, then swirling it and buffing it all together. Next, we're going to contour a little bit. I'm using my Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder in medium and the NARS Ita brush. Contouring is so specific to you and your features and what products you use, what formulas you use, what colors you use. This is just what works for me. So this is not at all a tutorial on contouring. This is just kind of the areas I like to contour for my face specifically, and to hopefully maybe give you some inspiration to try it out and see what works best for you. The other key to this too is blending. This is pretty unblended right now, but I'm going to go back in with bronzer later and make sure everything is nice and cohesive. So I'm also going to contour my nose. Again, this is extremely personal because everyone's nose is different. A lot of people say, go down the sides and boom, you're done. Not so much for me. I'm trying to do a few things with my very uneven, crooked, long nose that include straightening it out and shortening it and lifting the tip. So this is how I do it, and just me. It's going to be different for everybody. Make sure you blend everything out though. No matter what contour you use, make sure it's blended. Next, we're going to go in with some highlighter to finish contouring the nose. You can't contour without a highlight. You need both shade and light. So using this gorgeous highlighter to do that in the center of the nose. I'm also going to highlight the brow bones, the inner corners of the eyes, and of course the Cupid's bow. It's just really beautiful and glowy. Now I'm going in with a little concealer. I don't know if you noticed, but when I applied my foundation, I didn't really put any in this area. So I am using an ultra thin layer of concealer just to kind of brighten everything up. And again, finish contouring the outer edges of the nose. It's so important. And basically giving a little extra coverage anywhere I need it. But the key here is such a very, very light application. There's barely any product on the brush. And then I'm going to go back in after I have everything on and use the fingers to really warm up the area and press the product into the skin. Next, going in with some bronzer. This is the Benefit Hoola bronzer. It is just kind of a staple. There's lots of shades. There's something for everybody. Really great run-of-the-mill bronzer. Putting it everywhere the sun would naturally hit the skin. And of course, don't forget the neck. The neck's usually lighter than the face and the chest, so let's connect those. Now I'm adding some Anastasia brow powder to a little brush and just filling in the sparse areas, and then going in with the clear Boy Brow from Glossier to set everything. This isn't my favorite product. I don't think it holds super well, but it makes everything nice and fluffy and does the job. So throwing on some mascara after curling my lashes, and I'm going to mix the two shades in the Stoned Rose palette to lift the cheeks and add some fullness. I'm just concentrating the blush up and out. And then we're going to add more concealer. So like I said, that last concealer was more of a foundation step. This concealer is more of a spot placement and highlighting aspect. You'll see it's slightly lighter than the concealer I already used, and I'm using it to fill in those hollows under my eyes and really kind of press out the, what am I trying to say here? The borders, there it is, of the blush. You're just kind of pressing everything together so it's seamless, but we're really highlighting and adding some lightness to the face. Finally, we're going in with a little highlighter on those cheekbones. This is the other reason you want to make sure that if you're using that blush or that concealer step, this highlight blends the blush and the concealer together. Talking is hard sometimes. And finally, we're going with the lips. So this is the amazing Jason Wu lip liner from Target. It's insane, and I'm putting that all over the lips to kind of create a base. And then I'm going in with a slightly darker shade of lip liner by Pixie. This is Soft Nude. And once I get the lip liner on, you want to make sure that you're pressing everything in. This just makes everything blend together and it doesn't look so harsh. Really, really important so you don't get those two lines, but you do get a nice contour. Finally, going in with Charlotte Tilbury Nude Kate, and again, pressing that in, and then we're going to add some setting spray, and this is the final look. Thank you so much for joining. You can shop everything on my Like to Know It page, and I'll see you next time.